Hey, this is Warren Redlick. Check out my channel, The Daily Lie on Locals, link in the description below. I want to talk about huge news, the biggest tweet I've ever seen from Elon Musk. Are you ready? Let's go. So I wake up this morning and this bombshell is on my Twitter feed. Dave Lee was talking about Tesla Bot and Elon leading programs. And Elon said, I'm driving this program personally, as is the case for almost all new programs. That was yesterday. Dave Lee listed some questions he would want to ask Elon, in particular about his insistence to drive almost all new programs at Tesla, and Elon responded with this harsh bombshell. I want to be clear, I am a fan of Dave Lee, and I'm obviously a fan of Elon Musk. I don't think Elon intended this to be quite as harsh as it was, but nevertheless, I think it's really insightful. He says, Dave, I know you're a fan, but this is a silly question. I don't drive programs because I want to, but because I have to. This leads to this question about Elon risk. What happens to Tesla if something happens to Elon? If Elon vanishes, if something bad happens to Elon, if he leaves the company, just like the Steve Jobs risk that faced Apple before. What does that mean? So let's talk about that. Point here is this was about new programs. So if you're thinking about Model Y and Model 3, Model S and Model X, those programs are existing programs that are well underway, that are doing okay. Megapack is a program that has a factory. Powerwall, solar, they exist. They are existing programs. They need to be scaled, but those are parts of Tesla that there are people in the company who already know how to manage them reasonably well. Not to say that Elon adds no value to those programs, but his real value is his vision, his drive, and his ability to push to get things where he wants them to be. There's no one else at Tesla who has the free time to be able to lead new programs. Right? Drew Baglino can handle the battery stuff. Zach Kirkhorn can handle finances. Lars maybe is handling manufacturing. I'm not sure who's handling manufacturing. That's a little Lars, little Drew. The team, Andre Karpathy, Ashok, the autopilot team can handle the autopilot project. There are already people who are working on those programs who know what they're doing and can lead those programs. But if you want to do something new and different, and I think Cybertruck is sort of on the edge of that. Cybertruck is pretty close, but still going to need some leadership. Tesla Bot is a totally new project. It requires that ability to synthesize vision and ideas from all over the place to make this thing do something bigger. And there's nobody at Tesla who can do that. You think about this for a second. What would have happened at Apple if Steve Jobs hadn't died? It's not that Apple failed, right? Apple continued to grow as a company because they had a lot of great programs, products in existence that they were able to improve to some extent, expand and grow their markets. That's not what you need Elon for. I mean, Elon is helpful in those things, but you don't need Elon for that, just like Apple was able to grow without Steve Jobs. But what new exciting product has Apple come out with since Steve Jobs died? Nothing. Nothing I can think of. AirPods? I mean, it's a big market, but is that really exciting? Does that really motivate you? Does that excite you about the future of the world? So with Elon, he sees things that can be done that are extremely difficult, and you need the guy who's got a huge investment in the company. He is basically a controlling shareholder. He has enough stock in the company. He has enough pull in the company that whatever Elon says goes. If you disagree with Elon and you don't back down when he pushes, you're out. And, shareholders, doesn't matter who you are, he's the biggest shareholder, he's the biggest voice, he's the biggest vision, and everyone respects what he says. Even if he's wrong sometimes, he will push to find out whether he's wrong or not. He wants to be less wrong. Don't forget about the Be Less Wrong t-shirt, by the way, at elonbits.com. You can buy that there. When you're thinking about Tesla's stock price, one of the things that I've heard people talk about is the Elon risk. What if Elon dies? What if Elon disappears? What if Elon quits? I don't see that affecting the future of, say, Model Y, Model 3, autopilot, full self-driving, Megapack. A lot of the existing programs, there's leadership in place in the company who can take those programs and continue to grow them. Not that Elon helps. Elon is a multiplier. He's a force multiplier, right? He is able to bring people together, inspire people, motivate people. He's able to offer additional engineering insights, but the team pretty much knows how to make a Model Y and a Model 3 now. They probably know how to make the battery day vehicle. There would be some new innovations in the battery day vehicle that Elon might contribute to, but even the battery day vehicle, they pretty much have an idea of what they want to do there. It's just a matter of getting it to the road. Cybertruck is pretty close to ready. So they probably, Elon adds value there. But once you get past the point of you have the product, then it's a challenge of getting the manufacturing down. And Elon, again, he adds value in all these areas. But something like Tesla Bot requires this crazy vision of where this is going to go, how this, and you might have to change things on the fly. And you need somebody who can change things on the fly, who has the pull within the company to say, you know what, we're going to do it this way now. Make some radical change, just like Starship went from carbon fiber to stainless steel. Just like introducing the idea of Cybertruck. The things that he's talking about doing, going to 4680 cells. These 4680 is another thing that it pretty much got that now. Not that there can't be further improvements. Like Elon talked about manganese, going to a manganese chemistry, battery chemistry at some point. Did he mean manganese doped lithium iron phosphate? Did he mean a straight manganese chemistry for batteries? Really radical ideas that he can push that no one else can really push in the same way. And there's this question, if Elon's gone, who becomes CEO? Who takes charge? I look at it, to me, it's very straightforward that Drew Baglino would be the next CEO of the company. And I love Drew, and I think he's brilliant. But I don't know that he could push Bot in the same way that Elon can. I think he might be able to push a manganese battery chemistry the same way that Elon can. But does he have the vision? Does he have the ability to pull it all together? So what happens is Tesla becomes a $10 trillion market cap company without Elon. But to become a $50 trillion or $100 trillion company, Elon has to be there. It becomes a dominant force in transportation in the robotaxi world. Getting robotaxi approved in places might require Elon's public power, his 72 million Twitter followers, his charisma, his ability to motivate people, his knowledge of how to make connections in other countries. The fact that they opened a factory in China, that wouldn't have happened without Elon. So there are things he adds to the table, that brings to the table, but just on vehicle manufacturing and energy alone, Tesla becomes a $10 trillion company. Add in robotaxi, it becomes a $50 trillion company, maybe a $100 trillion company. Add in Bot, who knows how high it goes. It's potentially, I don't want to say infinite, but the value of Tesla Bot is absolutely insane, and Dave knows that. So this notion that he has to lead new programs is just, there's no one at the company who has that institutional power and the vision to be able to do so. Elon is a one-of-a-kind individual. I'm not sure we've ever seen someone quite like Elon in the history of the world. Steve Jobs is a close second. Maybe Thomas Edison is up there. Outside of those two figures, it's really hard to find somebody who has not just had vision and ideas, but actually delivered them into working products across so many fields. It's one of those funny things that you find Wall Streeters will criticize Elon for how he presents at a shareholder meeting, and you watch the way Wall Street looks at Tesla, and they almost think like, well, Elon's the problem. But if Elon was gone, they would sell the stock in a heartbeat. The price would fall by 50%, and I would buy, by the way, because it's still going to be a $10 trillion company. To use the word that Gary Black uses, it's baked. The $10 trillion company is already baked in. The growth in manufacturing, all of that's already baked in. They're going to get there without Elon. They might get there quicker with Elon. They will get there quicker with Elon, but getting to much larger, much greater impact, much greater acceleration of the transition to sustainable energy, all of these things that Tesla is trying to achieve, lowering the cost of transportation for the world, making the world more efficient. Those game-changing things are driven by Elon. And so I just want to be clear about that, though, because you'll hear the term Elon risk. And the Elon risk is not that in the long run, Tesla becomes a worthless company. The Elon risk is that it limits the upside. If Elon goes away, then the $100 trillion market cap might be off the table. But the $10 trillion market cap is baked. With or without Elon, Tesla becomes a $10 trillion company. The stock goes from less than $1,000 today to $10,000 in 10 years. Gonna happen anyway. Add in robotaxi, add in bot, 50 trillion, 100 trillion, and beyond are possible. So please check out the Be Less Wrong t-shirt at elonbits.com. Please check out the Locals platform, warrenredlick.locals.com in the description below. Check out my other videos, and thank you so much for watching.